Okay. I know that if I don't continue right now, I'm not going to be able to sleep at all. So, here we are, back with Borderlands 1 with Novaria here. Now, I'm pretty sure it's at this point fairly reasonable and expected as to what I'm aiming for. Um, Short version is I am aiming to beat the game without using, or while only using sniper rifles and revolvers and without falling in combat. All three of these situations tend to make for some very difficult scenarios at times. Um, but as things have been going, I've been getting some incredible luck with getting new weapons, better gear, and just overall being able to tackle opponents in a quick and succinct manner. I wasn't expecting, for example, one of the bosses in the mid game, the third boss of the game, the Roid Rage Psycho, which I'm still not a fan of its name, but that is what it is. Um, I don't even know what that new weapon was. The Vicious Sniper? It's got more damage than the Wrath. Yeah, it's not worth it. But we have officially finished off every single Firestone quest. So, from here, we are officially moving on to the Dusts. The Dusts is more of a transitional area, having about 4 to 5 side quests and 1 or 2 main quests in the area. It's not that big. Only expecting probably 1 video worth in there. Maybe 2 just to tackle the final boss of that region. But yeah, it's official. We get to say goodbye to the arid Badlands for this challenge. It's a little bittersweet. 17 attempts at this challenge, and this is the first time I've gotten here in probably a year. I'm excited. All right, come on, Claptrap. Just let me in. Welcome to the Dull Headlands, home of Lucky's last chance watering hole. Now, much the same as the prior area, this area is more dusty and dirty, but is more, I suppose you could say it has been more consistently handled. There's more people, there's more space. Overall, it's more. I gotta say, why did I do that? I only want the revolver capacities. But we got a few side missions to tackle. But we first have to take to help out Lucky. Now, Lucky is in a pretty unlucky location right now. He is stuck in a bathroom over there, and I don't feel like helping him right now. We are instead going to tackle Skagzilla, because why not? I like Skagzilla. This area also has the Outriders, a significant number or a not insignificant group of banditos that run around on scooters runners that If I get hit at any point, I will die. There is no coming back after being hit by a runner here. So I might be taking the silly route right now, but defeating the next mini boss, Skagzilla, is going to probably be the best plan because Skagzilla offers a large amount of loot as well as being relatively easy to defeat. He's just bulky. So we're going to start this off by emptying out a clip on him. Fire and elemental damage don't do much to Skagzilla, but Skagzilla is oversized. It's massive. It also shoots laser beams. So there's that. Come on. Yeah, overall right now, it's pretty decent, just challenging one or two major enemies at a time. Because ultimately, if I try to tackle too many opponents or try to overextend myself, I'm going to end up in a situation I can't get back out. We're going to go with no effect and see what this does. Significantly more than Flame did. Okay. I think that Skagzilla might be something in between a standard Skag and a Rackhive. Well, I again have no idea what all the super massive skeletons are in throughout the early game. So for all I know, this beastie could be what it is that I'm thinking those are, or it could be something entirely different. What I do know is right now I am running out of ammo. Worth it. Okay, perfect. And with that, Skagzilla is defeated. We have beaten, we have become a weapons aficionado. Let's just pick up everything underneath him so that I can sort through it in a minute. Okay, so we have the Static Justice. Perfect. Garbage, 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 garbage. Don't need those anymore. Worthless to me. Perfect. Oh, yes. And now we're getting the healing coming from a secondary source, Bloodwing. Bloodwing's healing is more noticeable than the healing that I've been getting from the riotous remedy, at least in the moment. Riotous remedy does, I think, more right now, but I don't actually have a distinctive answer because I simply do not know. What I do know offhand is that this was a silly place to get myself stuck in, and got a lot of extra work to be done in this area. So, we beat Skagzilla. Skagzilla wasn't hard per se, just bulky. Every time that he finished off, I had the chance to get caught back up or finished off my shield. I had a chance to get my shield caught back up relatively quickly. So, there's really nothing stopping me at this point. But I figure, why not keep going? What's the worst that'll happen? Get caught by a heavyweight enemy? Potentially. Got the Firewing artifact on. Got to tackle a few more banditos before I can cash this in. Running out of bullets again. Shield is out. Can't believe I'm trying to hide inside their hidey holes. But yeah, it's a hidey hole, so it'll do the job, I guess. As long as I don't stand too close to that grenade, I'll be fine. Okay. Bruiser number 1 was, I thought, didn't get defeated. Maybe did. 24 bullets. And a scope. Oh, the game can't be handing me this kind of good luck. That's just obscene. Okay. Defeated the banditos. Solid gamble sniper. Looks like it does more damage than the last one I got. Not worth it. Nope. Nope. Oh, hi. You're, not who I was expecting here. And we got ourselves another major achievement, lots of shots, which isn't all that surprising given all things considered right now. Um, Theoretically, lots of shots should be done fairly early on in the game, so this is actually later than I would normally have it. Finish me off. Now, why would I let him do that? Because letting him do that means I can get some more HP back comparatively. And we can raid this guy's place. Of course, he probably locked himself in here on purpose. And toss that. We are currently approximately 15 minutes into this particular challenge. Time to meet the Sithid. The Sithid are small little critters that run around in this area. Some of them can fly, some of them just run around in the dirt. But much like some of the other enemies that we come across in the somewhat earlier game, these guys are fairly simplistic to defeat and deal an incredible of experience points back. So it's actually beneficial to tackle these guys as often as I can come across them, because their lowest tier is giving 30 something experience. But what I'm concerned with are these guys. The Outriders are probably some of the most dangerous enemies right now, guaranteed. And that's simply because they've got ammunition, they've got the vehicles, and the front bumper is very dangerous. And it is, I think everything's going fairly okay right now. Got to do a little bit of TLC and a little bit of character growth in the near future here. But overall, it has been working out well. I continue to say this, terrified that I'm going to be wrong. That I'm going to bite off more than I can chew soon. And I don't like that idea because, well, these circumstances that I'll be coming across are kind of like the tip of the iceberg for me half the time. Oh. Something I don't think I ever talk about is what type of missions I like and what type I don't. The types of missions that I don't like are actually the ones like this one, where it's simplistic until you complete the mission. Because anyone could finish the mission and then just duck out and not actually get the full mission in and of itself. But everything you need to complete the mission is already technically done. So the game doesn't punish you for doing something like that. In fact, I would argue that it punishes you for not, or punishes you for sticking around. Of course, the alternative viewpoint on that is it doesn't punish you for sticking around or anything like that. It's giving you extra experience to fight with. But it's only if I actually have a chance to boost myself up a little bit. Okay. So, we are going to start with the fuel wars. And we're going to kind of do like 4 separate missions at a time here. Because each location across this area has its own mini missions associated with it. Such as the gigantic cockroaches that have taken over this base. of operations for a local speedway. Like, how dare they? But in all honesty, this is just another kind of side quest mission. It's not super serious, and it's not meant to be taken super serious. All right. So that's those guys down. Next batch, we are going to go through the speedway itself because this area actually gives some of the best experience in the game as far as I'm concerned. Because at this point, the game is trying its darndest to defeat me with whatever it has that it can throw at me. The Scythic crawlers, the weakest versions, give 100 experience apiece, and it's just an endless swarm of them over here. This will make beating any future missions a fair bit easier. And the badass fire crawler itself is not actually much of a challenge either. But 1500 right there. And a increased power incendiary artifact out of that beastie. So now, Bloodwing does more damage. Funny how that works. But from here on, anytime I come across boss enemies or top tier enemies, there's always a chance of them dropping a new artifact to increase the strength of Bloodwing. So it's always best to continue to tackle every challenge at face value, once again, because you're going to end up with more potential luck catching these stronger versions of opponents. And then you're going to end up in situations where you're dealing with these guys. The poison scythids are faster than any other varieties and are nasty. However, when they do offer a boost like a new shield, I would be very, very upset if I didn't take it. All right. So, a little bit disappointing now because the enemies aren't giving quite as much experience, but also, as stated prior, I'm already getting more out of this than most other areas in the or than any other area in the game by far. So this is just icing on the cake for me. Oh, we got a vehicle that had a head-on with a wall. Let's see what else we can find back here. It's kind of unfortunate that they have a mission like this and they don't have challenges to defeat Sithid. Like, Sithid do show up on occasion, but they're so few and far between that most of the time they're all a non-issue by any means. Okay. And with that, Mission complete. Obviously going to continue to fight my way out of here because I refuse to just stop. That would be unethical, I think. I mean, I don't want to leave any job half done. What it got me here? A awful revolver. Well, I appreciate the attempted donation to the cause. Sadly, it will not be worthwhile at the moment. We're just going to rebuild the vehicle and head off to the next location. So, the next location is just over here, and it is all about banditos. See, I could take care of the Mad Mel Patrol from here, but it's not really worth getting involved with them yet. But up here, this is Devil's Gate Hill, and it houses the parts of a new revolver. So let's get those, shall we? Also houses a couple extras in here that I've got to deal with. First and foremost is this oil well needs to be shut down. So we will tackle that really quick. We got the first valve shut down. And I admittedly forget where the fourth piece of this revolver is, but I don't believe it's all that far away. And we're just gonna take a jab at it. Because the Mad Melkin Patrol is a main quest objective, I've got to try and take him out. But it is tiresome dealing with moving targets like this, especially given that one of the restraints I gave myself is I am not allowed to fire bullets in a vehicle. And this is one of those situations where if I don't do it right, I will not survive. Guaranteed. So, can I get you from here? Ooh, that's a good amount of damage off a single shot. Woohoo, 168. Oh, 92. 92. Awesome. Moving on to the next locale. We have a double hitter. Where we have another oil tank in the back there that needs to be removed from office. Hey, Anywho. I don't think this is going too badly. I definitely think that shock is one of the better weapon types as far as raw fighting off enemies gets. However, what it lacks very, very hard. And that is against your average enemy, it really doesn't do much damage. But against any shield, they might as well not even exist. Okay, moving on to section 3 of 5, we have this little lovely hole in the wall. This area is another Sithid ground. There's really nothing much to speak about over here. It's just Sithids out the wazoo. But in theory, because there are as many of them as there are, come on, do the thing. Thank you for letting me do the thing. It's not a hard area, so to speak. It's just there's a lot of enemies. Nice. Hey, that was rude, you know. All right. 3 down, 3 to go. Now, if I recall accurately, one of my major stopping points is here. I don't like being out in the open like this, but I really don't have a choice with that bruiser. There we go. Well, that was the perfect amount of ammunition. Now I'm confused because where in the world is the third bump? Okay, so we got the second oil pump dealt, or the third fuel tank dealt with, the second oil tank dealt with. And we are going into yet another area with numerous enemies galore. But this time we are dealing with a new type of enemy, the Eridians, also known as the Guardians. Now, the Eridians slash Guardians are enemies that have a bit of a storied history in Borderlands. Oh, shoot. No, no. Oh, thank God. The Eridians have a storied history. They exist as an entity outside of any governmental body. Their entire technological advancements have all been removed from history. They effectively no longer exist. What makes that such a interesting premise, I suppose, is where did they come from? How did they get there? And where did they go? But all these questions and more can be answered in due time. For now, we are just going to tackle one more stack of enemies here. Enjoy the fact that I did not just die as a result of running out of ammunition. And maybe taking a bit of a pleasure cruise through uh, the Firestone area again, just because the enemies in this area are so much stronger than what I'm actually used to dealing with at this point or am decked out to handle. Now, these guys, the Eridians, have shock artifact, are stronger enemies than most. They are an alien race that has a couple things going for them and a couple things against them. The first thing going for them is their speed. The second thing is their shields. Their shields are impeccable, overpowered monstrosities. And yet, huh, new artifact. Let's see if I can activate this one. Cannot use that item. So close. But they have incredibly powerful shields that are capable of blocking almost all damage in its entirety. Thus, the activation of their abilities, or their shields, are their primary defense, even more so than any of my defensive measures have ever been. Um, they are fast moving, hard to hit. They do an insane amount of damage, but they also have an added bonus of simply just having a really interesting design comparatively to a lot of characters and enemy types in Borderlands. So, yeah. Anyways, I just need to take a quick look at the map here. Did I miss something? Oh, geez. Yep, missed something really simplistic, too. We were there! I drove right by it! I have done my due diligence. I have turned off all the valves. I have fought back the banditos. Now I just need to defeat the Mad Mel patrols, and I think this might be the location to do it in. They seem to be pretty heavy over here. They stick fairly close to a given path. If they ever run into a wall, which is potential, um, yeah, I think that overall this is pretty decent. Going to hope that I can make it back to Lucky's so that I can shut her down for the night. But ultimately, that's going to come with actually knowing what I'm up against. Full health. My runner again. Oh, I got him. Out. 6. Can I see any more out there? I've only got 2 more to defeat before turning in. Yes, this is going to be a longer video, but it's... I would rather a longer video than having to pick up halfway through a mission. At least in my opinion. There we go. 7. One more. We'll cash everything in, and then we will be... And then we are good to rock and roll. All right. The last one seems to be up around here. I say that knowing that the Mad Mel Patrol is an infinitely respawning enemy type. There we go. We have officially finished off the Road Warriors mission. And it's time to hand everything in. Of course. Scooter's all irritated that I had to destroy some of his cars, but he shouldn't make his catcher rides so accessible if he doesn't want his vehicles getting destroyed. But wait, there's more. We are also going to head over to Lucky, or over to, I think it's Earl's? Might be Earl's. I can't recall the guy's name. Point being, we're heading over to finish off a mission over here as well. All right. The big game hunter mission is now done as well. So, if you like what you see, drop a like, leave a subscribe, and we'll hear from you next time. Next time on our Borderlands Deathless Challenge, we'll also be tackling Mad Mel. So, with all that being said, have a good one.